Always show up for yourself because if you don't, then no one else will. I want to share this because maybe you're in a situation where things are tough and maybe the systems that you have in place are starting to fall apart. Maybe you're starting to fall off the wagon when it comes to spending time at the gym or spending time reading a book or doing things that you enjoy, right? Maybe you have to put them off because of some external event that you can't ignore, and that's perfectly fine. God throws curveballs at us all the time, and we must deal with them, right? But I would want to suggest that just because something isn't pitch perfect doesn't necessarily mean you have to miss out. For example, just want to share that I think it's 6 weeks after my pec injury. So I tore my pec somewhere here, right? And then it's been 4 weeks since my left bicep tendon has been irritated. And so both of those things combined have limited my fitness progress, right? I haven't been able to push as hard on pretty much any lift, even legs, because of the psychological impact that injury brings, right? I don't want to injure something even more. I don't want to aggravate it even more. At the same time, though, that doesn't necessarily mean that I should just skip out on the gym altogether, right? All the things that hinge upon that pivotal moment in my day, waking up early, getting some carbohydrates in, going out for a walk to the gym, spending time at the gym and all its benefits, the cardio, the recovery, of course, the weightlifting and things like that, the mobility work, and getting more steps in, right? All of that stuff is very beneficial, and it gives me opportunities to go to the grocery store if I need to, or if I need to go somewhere else, right, within the city. I realize that I don't necessarily want to let go of that. I don't necessarily want to have that system fall apart because of a temporary setback. And we got to realize that these setbacks are ultimately temporary. They're usually never permanent. And even if they were permanent, we would adapt, right? But as for me, I have sought help, right? I have enlisted the help of a physical therapist to rehab my pec. And as for my bicep, it's sort of something I've just been dealing with on my own. And I've seen progress on both sides, right? And it's good, right? But I will tell you that I never had to miss one single day of the gym. I showed up and I just did something, right? Maybe I'm not doing huge range of motion for any chest movements, right? Or I'm not going as hard, right? Or I'm not doing a lot of volume for chest. That's perfectly fine. And maybe I have to be a little bit more careful with my pulling movements because of my bicep, or I can't do certain curling variations because it's just sensitive and I just would rather not risk anything. Meanwhile, I'm doing other exercises that will still get me to maintenance, if not even some progress, while my body is healing, right? And even when it comes to muscle injuries and tendon injuries, you generally do not want to have no activity on you, at least for like maybe a week at best or two. At some point, you want to make sure it's moving, because if it's not, then the muscles or tendons, they don't heal properly as a result. And then you actually end up worse off than you were before the injury. So it's things like that, right? Realizing that you have systems in place that are getting you to that place that you're trying to get at in the future, but you don't really want to let go of those even when Providence is steering you to another direction at a certain point in time. So you could apply this to quite literally anything. Of course, work, you got to make accommodations for work if something comes up, and even in relationships, right? Maybe things change and now you can't do something with your partner, and that might affect the flow of things. And those are things that you just kind of have to deal with. It's not all of a sudden like you're not going to do those things and leave a void open, because that's just not going to work. You're going to do something in substitution. Maybe that's not as impactful or as memorable as what you once did, but nonetheless, the sentiment's still there, the intention's still there, the consistency is still there. And really, those things long term is what's going to yield you lasting results. So I just wanted to get this message out. Hopefully it helped you. I know it has helped me in the past year to never lose sight of the true goals that I have. And I think we all need that kind of encouragement these days. So I hope this was helpful once again, and I'll catch you in the next one.